All right, good evening to all of our viewers in Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Southwest Missouri. I'm Joshua Weisel here in the Weather 225 Storm Studios, taking a look at your forecast for tonight and tomorrow. The major change of the forecast today, it's been mostly dry, but later this evening there could be a couple pop-up showers, maybe in Southwest Missouri. I think the greater coverage is going to be over the next couple of days. And when I say greater coverage, we're not talking widespread, everyone sees rain. It'll still be an opportunity that some of us see rain, others don't. But here's a look at what we've got with that forecast. We'll get to that here throughout this segment. So overnight tonight, it is certainly going to be warmer. It matches the tie. As you can see, some of those dark oranges appearing on the map. Upper 70s starting to make their way back into Oklahoma, even into the River Valley as well. Warming up in northwest Arkansas, southwest Missouri will be in the lower to the mid 70s there. Otherwise, some areas may be close to the upper 70s, maybe even lower 80s in Oklahoma and parts of the River Valley. So warm overnight tonight. Now, tomorrow morning, it's going to be a warm one, right? And then tomorrow afternoon, it's going to be another warm one in the afternoon as well. Even warmer for northwest Arkansas and southwest Missouri, where some locations could be into the upper 90s. Now, keep in mind, we say this often that the Northwest Arkansas official recording station, which is Drake Field, it's typically a couple degrees cooler than other areas. And then on some occasions, it's a couple degrees warmer, right? So tomorrow, there will be some opportunities for maybe some upper 90s across the area. But I think it'll be a little bit cooler closer to Fayetteville in terms of the official number. But still, notice it's not all that cool across the area. Here's a look at those rain chances and everything along the lines. The good news before we get into the actual rain maps is there's no highlighted risk for severe weather, so we can move right past that. So just to kind of ease any sort of anxiety, if you hear the opportunity for storms or thunderstorms, it doesn't always mean severe weather. It just means, you know, when you start getting this warm and then you have the humidity and a couple other things come together, you get a little bit of instability where it's enough for some lightning. But as you can see, no risk for any sort of organized severe weather. The rain chances, the algorithm's starting to pick up on some activity closer to the Boston Mountains and parts of the River Valley, further to the north and west of Oklahoma as well. So there is some rain chances for overnight tonight into tomorrow. And then the Weather Prediction Center actually for tonight into tomorrow has an opportunity for a couple tenths of an inch of rain across parts of pretty much all of the county coverage area. And this is going to be a great demonstration that some of us will see rain, others won't. Notice that, some of us not seeing any sort of rain by this map, but keep in mind, it's not an exact science with, exactly this location is going to see this and that one's not. It's tricky with these maps. So this is just a forecast. So that doesn't mean that, if you're in Barnsdall, you're not going to see any rain at all. It just means be mindful that, hit or miss opportunities will be possible. Thanks to some of this rain activity and the ingredients that we have overnight to tomorrow morning, we're really not expecting any sort of fog activity across the region. In fact, the Foghorns morning fog outlook actually pulled away all of that red that you see on the map. So it doesn't look like we're going to have really any activity overnight tonight. Huge shout out to Foghorns for sponsoring the channel. We appreciate them as a sponsor here on Weather 225. Be sure to support them like they support us. Check out their locations across northwest Arkansas. That's a look at what we've got. And coming up, we're going to walk you through Future Scan Radar, what's bringing these rain opportunities, and more here in just seconds. If you like our media and forecasts, be sure to support us today on Patreon. You can advertise with us this storm season and throughout the year. Contact us today for availability and pricing. Weather 225 since 2015. Welcome back, and I'm going to show you the drought monitor. Now, those of you who tune into these segments, you already know these update every Thursday, right? The cool thing with our channel is we're growing so quickly that we get new viewers every time that we do these updates. And if you're in agriculture or if you're doing anything that involves the outdoors and the drought is of concern to you, we're going to show you the drought monitor here today once again. So keep in mind, these update every Thursday. So if you didn't know that, every Thursday we get a new update. And so here's a look at what we had here. Now, the difference is the update that was before this one. So before last Thursday, there's no change to that. But we've been talking about there is an opportunity for what we call a sudden onset drought over the next 6 to 14 days across the region. We're going to have an opportunity for rain here coming up, right? There may be additional here in the coming weeks for some rainfall, but unfortunately, it looks like some of that drought may start to build in a little bit further thanks to those conditions. So we'll have to keep an eye on this over the next couple of weeks. Here's a look at what we've got, and notice there is a lot of activity to the south and to the east of our coverage area and to the north. Now, notice that system that's near Kansas City. This little system, or I guess not necessarily little, it is covering a large portion of the country, but no matter that, that system, it's really just going to hang around the Central Plains, even parts of the Southern Plains, off and on over the next several days. Now it's going to kind of retreat, and then it'll move a little bit further to the south. And then by the time we get to the weekend, it'll start to push further to the north based off of the latest model indications. So this is going to start to make its way a little bit further south over the next couple of days. It's not quite going to push its way through the county coverage area, but it is going to bring some rain opportunities as it makes its way further to the south. Now, here's a look at the rain chances that we have for tonight. Notice not everyone's going to see this. This is late overnight, early tomorrow morning. Some showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two will be possible. As we make our way into tomorrow afternoon, it's scattered. Not everyone's going to see this activity. By the time we get to the 6th, there's going to be a little bit more opportunities for maybe some scattered showers and some thunderstorms. So basically, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's going to be the overall best chances for rain, right? Now, all of us are going to see rain over the next couple of days, but it is going to be a rain opportunity, so we can take, we'll take what we can get across the area. So that's a look at what we've got there. The other thing is, you may have noticed that your allergens are a little bit, kind of off the charts feeling. The good news is we're not necessarily off the charts with everything, but you may look at this and go, well, why are my allergies so bad? My allergies have been a mess. I tell you, it's been rough over the last, couple of weeks, even though the pollen counts aren't off the charts with everything that we've got here. There are some high levels, and particularly mold, the air quality, and even dust and dander. And you might be wondering, well, what exactly is that? Well, this is accounting for the dust that you have inside. Now, we're not criticizing you for your dusting habits, right? But peak summer, when you get the AC running constantly, the fans, and then you get the humidity and the heat outside, it's just a perfect combination that you get a lot more dust inside your home. You may have noticed this. You might start to be dusting a little bit more throughout the week, right? So when you have the hot and humid conditions, it just sticks a little bit better to the surfaces. And with everything going on, the AC and the fans running constantly, it's just kind of prime conditions for the dust to build up a little bit faster in your home. So that's what we've got there. There's also just some lingering, particles in the atmosphere. Off and on, we've had some of that smoke move in from the north and west in our atmosphere. It's not the prime pollutant, but there is still some issues with our overall air quality. So that's a look at what we've got with the allergen forecast. Now, going forward, the latest temperature outlook, and keep in mind, we do get new ones pretty much every day, for the 6 to 10 day outlook, because it progresses as we make our way further and further into each day, right? No changes right now for basically the 8 to 14 day outlook, and this does show that it's still well above average temperatures for our neck of the woods. And then kind of the support for that sudden onset drought, really not a whole lot of rain opportunities. But the good news is, with the latest update, notice it's pulling the well below or slightly below average precipitation chances further to the south. We're now into that average range. So the good news is, starting to get to that normal. There's a little bit more precipitation chances further to the north, getting pulled to the south. Maybe we can get some of that rain that we need. And I tell you, it's really, really funny being in the forecasting position that it was not that long ago that we were going, this is too much rain. When is it going to end, right? It's just kind of how it is here. It's, there's some point in the year where we go, yeah, we're done with this rain. We don't need any more. To this this portion of the summer into fall that you're going, okay, well, we need rain. The drought's building in. So kind of funny how things work in terms of the forecast. So here's a look at what we've got. The Northwest Arkansas 7-day forecast. We did bump up the rain chances to tomorrow around 40%. Keep in mind, Future Scan, even though it didn't look all that impressive, Future Scan does not do well with the opportunity for kind of that pop-up scattered activity, right? It handles the systems a little bit better when you get a line of storms, but think back the other day when we told you there was one outcome that it would be well to the south of the area, or there's an outcome that it's to the north, and it showed all those storms, and then we didn't get anything right. This is why we add that human part of the forecast. The models, it's just one tool that we use. They're not perfect, as you know. It happens quite often here. They either underperform or they overperform. That's just that type of deal. So just based off of our forecast, and kind of our thinking, we did bump up those rain chances tomorrow to around 40%. So not everyone's going to see rain, but it may not be one of those afternoons that you get one or two pop-up showers, right? That continues Thursday, Friday. We got some opportunities for some rain and thunderstorms. Weekend, still going to be warm, but at least it's not in the triple digits for many locations. We'll be back into the triple digits tomorrow and Thursday for the River Valley, and then early next week, right around Tuesday, Then here's a look at what we got for eastern Oklahoma. Same thing, basically, and this is one of the nice parts about forecasting in our coverage area is there's at least a little bit more consistency between Oklahoma and the River Valley. The forecasts are very similar, and so, it's going to be pretty warm going forward. Got some rain chances coming up over the next couple of days as well. Southwest Missouri, rain chances all the way through Friday, a little bit higher in these locations because they're going to be a little bit closer to that system that doesn't quite make its way fully through the coverage area. And that means that they may have a little bit more rain activity compared to portions of Arkansas and Oklahoma. So that's a look at what we've got going on there. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning in to Weather 225.